Welcome to the show Gold Squadron Gays. It's the podcast where two Star Wars loving gays talk about and review their favorite Star Wars content while also being gay as hell. I'm your host, Bradley Brower.
I'm your other host, Charles Rogers, and The Last Order is a good book.
Oh, okay.
I am pleased to report that. I have been in the process of catching up on the Star Wars books. I'm not even going to attempt to catch up on the comics for a while, but I'm in the process of catching up on the books.
Okay.
And of all of the ones that I read recently, The Last Order was the best one. That is the Finn and Janna after. It bills itself as after Rise of Skywalker. It's really more a prequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, I don't want to get too much into it, but most of the book is concerned with the backstories. Like, we do get into the present day. We do get a little bit of a look at what's going on post Rise of Skywalker, but yeah, the book's good and I recommend it. I'm about to start reading the Master of Evil, the new Darth Vader book. So we're going to see if I think that one's worth an episode.
Okay. I like to hear.
Because that's how this works is I filter through all of the Star Wars and I tell Bradley what I think he should read.
You're pre-screening them.
I'm pre-screening. I pre-screen
Yes.
all the Star Wars for Bradley, and then I bring him stuff that we can make an interesting episode out of.
Exactly. Because who got time to sit there and be a nerd all day?
I mean, I certainly don't have the time to do it, but I do it anyway because I have a compulsion, because I have deep compulsive need to talk about Star Wars on the internet. Before we get into the topic of today's episode, I do have some unfinished business from last week.
Okay.
So this is both a combination thing Charles didn't research and thing Charles fucked up, because 2 weeks ago I talked about the Selknam genocide and was a little blindsided by it on the air and wasn't exactly sure who was responsible for that. And in the intervening time, I have done some reading, and I was also provided some information from Hope over at J Guys and Jedi. Hi, Hope, who also directed me to the trivia guide for the last episode. And in that trivia guide, they talked about how the Imperial officer has a specific P in her design. And that is a reference to a specific guy. So really briefly, I'm not going to get too much into it because this is not a all of the worst people in history podcast. But I do have to say, I was wrong about who was responsible for the Selknam genocide. It was not Spain. Spain did do colonialism. They just didn't do this specific colonialism. Plot twist, it was the Chilean and Argentine military. So it was actually the government of Chile that perpetrated this genocide against the Selknam people. And it was over, from what I have been able to tell, I'm not an expert on this topic. From what I've been able to tell, it was basically they wanted the land. They wanted it both for livestock grazing, and there was also mining disputes. Gold miners wanted access to this land. The P on the design of the Imperial officer that's played by Lysa Arryn, aka Kate Dickie, but I know her as Lysa Arryn, is actually a reference to a dude named Julius Popper. I'm not going to get super into Julius Popper because Julius Popper was a fucking monster. And the stuff I have read about him just to, like, get a brief overview, I was like, holy shit, this dude fucking sucked. He was very heavily involved in the Selknam genocide. At one point, he goes on like an expedition and is allegedly, the word allegedly, is doing a lot of heavy lifting. He's allegedly attacked by 80 Selknam. Like, this is what he claims happened. But shit you not, this guy fucking sets up a photograph and poses. Like, does a heroic pose with the dead Selknam that he fucking killed with rifles. Like, and turned it into a propaganda piece. This dude sucked. This dude sucked super fucking hard, and there's a reason that he's got a reference in here. So, he also very suddenly died at the age of 35. So I figured we should end on a good note.
Okay, great. Love that.
He died very abruptly and very young. Which is good because he sucked super hard. And he and his private army, yes, he had one of those, did a whole lot of genocide crime, which is why the Imperial officer is referencing him in the short. So thank you to Hope for directing me to where I could find the information on this dude because he sucked, and also a little more information on the Selknam genocide. But I think we've talked about genocide enough, Bradley, for one episode.
Yeah, we have to have a positive episode, remember?
Yeah, we gotta slip something that's nicer in there. to talk about because the last 2 weeks have been very heavy on
It's
this
been
show.
heavy, yeah. So what's better than that?
And let me put in a little tangent in here. It's also been heavy for us because the two of us have watched season 3 now.
Oh yeah.
We're not covering it, but we've watched it really quickly, Bradley, just as a broad overview, because I know the audience is not going to have to wait very long for us to hear it. What did you think of season 3?
Wow. Such a huge improvement from the previous seasons. I think it's, for the most part, one of the strongest showings for Star Wars Visions. Almost every episode is actually, in your own words, a banger. And so I feel like they did such a good job. I only have like one or two minor complaints and then one giant complaint. But other than that, I mean, it's a great season.
I felt like the ability of a lot of these, because 3 of them are sequels,
Right, which
the
is,
ability of a
yeah,
lot of them to build on the visual style and the storytelling that came in season 1, I thought lent themselves really, really well. I also liked how we'll cover it when we cover it, except for Child of Hope, kind of. The other 2 sequels, the dual sequel and the Village Bride sequel, you can watch the sequel without having watched the original, and it still works
I
as
agree.
its own short film.
Hmm.
But because they're not designing the whole thing from the ground up, they really had a lot of time to nail in. I'm with you. I looking back, there was only a couple of moments that I was like, eh.
Yeah.
And then one big moment I was like, what the fuck is this? But I think Bradley, you and I need some time to process the what the fuck is this because we had the same one.
Yeah. And I don't even know how we're gonna do that episode. So that's my one thing I'm gonna regret looking forward to in
That's
the
a later problem.
another project that we do later down the road. But I just,
Anyway, F slays. That's my takeaway. We should talk about season 2.
this week we're talking about Star Wars Vision Season 2. I Am Your Mother. Young pilot Annie, who is embarrassed by her sweet but clingy mum, must team up with her for a madcap family race at the academy. Along the way, their relationship is tested by the elements, their old ship, other racers, and each other.
God, I fucking love Aardman.
I
God,
was
I fucking love Aardman. I do. They're
th-
so good.
This was the studio that brought this animation to us was Aardman Animations, which is a British animation studio founded in Bristol, England in 1972. It is known for films made using stop motion and clay animation techniques, particularly those featured in Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, and Shaun the Sheep.
I watched the shit out of Chicken Run when it came out in 2000.
It was one of the only VHS tapes that I had at my grandmother's home when we used to visit her, and we literally watch that all the time. And that's why I like this animation style is so ingrained in my brain just from Chicken Run. All just that's it. That's like I haven't even seen Wallace and Gromit or Shaun the Sheep or whatever, but I know of them. Like I know what they are. Like and I've heard of them and I've seen shorts and stuff, but I've never like fully watched the films. But like I know the animation style. Like I instantly recognize it.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Aardman is like once you've seen a thing that Aardman has done, if you see another thing, you don't even need to be told this is an Aardman short.
Hmm.
Because not only do they have a distinctive like style of animation, but they have a distinctive character and modeling style that really shines through in the Star Wars universe in this short. But also like you can look at an Aardman film and go, yeah, that's Aardman.
That's Aardman. Yeah.
And also it will be good.
Yeah, this I honestly I'm gonna spoil right now. I have no complaints about this episode. I thought it was 10 out of 10. Like it was great.
I also have no complaints about this episode.
It's just
I
so
have no
fun.
gripes.
Yeah, it's great. It's one
Oh
of the better
god.
ones, honestly. I think it's I would argue the best, but I mean I think that's where I'm sitting at right now based on what we've seen so far. I think this genuinely for me is just it's just too fun. It's too good. Like it's great. It has so many fun little Easter eggs and things that like yeah, I mean some of them are a little gratuitous, but it's like also it's kind of the point of it, like to be like,
It's
look,
Aardman's
here's the
sense of
thing.
humor.
Right.
So like the thing about Aardman is that their sense of humor is very like in your face slapstick. They talk about this in the behind the scenes. They talk about them having humor is such a big deal to them. It is such an important part of the stories that they tell. And so even though the core of this is this very sweet like story about a daughter kind of being embarrassed by her mother and that it's a very singular vision as well. The director of this short was inspired by both her own relationship with her mother and her mother's relationship with her son, that the humor being such a big thing to build around this central core heartfelt story is very distinctively Aardman. And that's their thing, is they're going to keep throwing humor at you and you're going to laugh, and then you get done with the thing and you're like, oh man, was feeling an emotion actually.
Right. I thought it was so cute. It was such a good story. And at first I was like, oh, I don't like the whole I'm embarrassed by my mom. Like I just don't like the whole like I hate when kids are immature and they're just like, oh, she's so annoying and da da da. But then like it just because the character does change throughout the story and you get that, final like acceptance of like everything. It is good. They did a good job, obviously. Like if I'm supposed to be annoyed at first, I'm supposed to like maybe not like our main character right away and then be like, oh wait, well, she's changing. She's, because you instantly love the mom because she's just so cute.
I wonder if that's because we're both adults in our 30s,
Okay, well,
that we identify with
fair
the
enough.
mom
Yeah.
more. Because I know if I'd watched this and I was a preteen, 13, 14 years old, I probably would have had the same reaction as the kid to be like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that mom is super embarrassing.
I
But
love it.
I'm an
Yeah.
adult now, so I
I
wonder
feel
if
like, yeah.
that's this short. Man, I wish I could time travel back in time and so just show this short to myself at 13 years old.
I know it's just there's something about it that is just so endearing and you just watch it and you're just like I need like a full length film like of these like they're so cute.
Well, good news is this is basically every Aardman film that I've watched. So you can go get this exact same experience from every single one of their films, and it will be just as good as this.
I love it.
Because they talk about in the behind the scenes how they're independently owned. They're not owned by a major studio, so they can do whatever they feel led, and they're successful enough that they've got the money to do it. They've got the free reign to do it, and it also works. It works so well in the Star Wars universe too. Like having all those jokes in there, having the references. Aardman's sort of tongue-in-cheek style makes it work in a way that other pieces of media might not make this work. I think because it's so fast, because it's so blink and you miss it, because it's built around this central core, heartfelt narrative, it gets away with a lot more than normally you would. And the creators clearly love Star Wars. There's some great Easter eggs in this. Like,
They clearly have seen the films or did their
and
research. Like,
not
yeah.
not just the original. This time I noticed that the pilot girl, Annie, has a Harrison Dula poster on her wall.
Oh wow. I didn't even see that. There's probably a lot of things I haven't seen in the
Yes.
background.
Hope will also yell at me if I don't mention the Tatooine Rhapsody poster on the
Oh,
wall.
I didn't see that either. So there you go.
Yeah, but there's that. There's references to all three eras are referenced in here of films. But we should probably talk about the biggest Star Wars reference in this, which is, can you tell us about the cast?
Yeah, sure. I'm not going in order of appearance because then
That would spoil the
that would
ending.
spoil the ending.
That
So
would
I'm
spoil
gonna
where this building
the
to.
farm building too. So I'm gonna do everybody else then our final thing. So the English voices for this cast is Maxine Peake as Kalina, who is the mother. She's an English actress, and she was on the British version of the show Shameless. So there's our semi Star Wars connection because it's
Cameron
Cal Kest.
Monaghan was
Cameron
on
Monaghan
the
was on Shameless. So yeah, that's
very
like a
famous for being on the
right.
American version, where the actor Cameron Monaghan had to come out as straight after
Because he was
being
that good. Yes.
well, there was a lot of, for context on Shameless, the character that Cameron Monaghan plays is gay, and he was one of the, like, the character was not the first or even like one of the first, but he was one of the bigger characters during that era of TV who was gay representation, because he, like all the Gallaghers, he's a piece of shit and sucks and does things that are awful over the course of the show, and that's what makes him so entertaining and endearing. And Cameron Monaghan plays him so well that he then had to come out a couple of years later and be like, no guys, just so you know, I am straight, which I love that for him. But yeah, that's our Star Wars connection, is
Well, she also
this
technically has a secondary one, which I thought was interesting. So
really.
again, this is like a 2 degree difference, connection, but she also starred in the Black Mirror episode called Metalhead, which featured the Boston Dynamic dogs, which were also in Book of Boba Fett. So
Oh,
they were just in it. So I don't know. That's my like semi connection there, but moving on. Charithra Chandran plays Annie, who is our main character, and she was previously in Marvel's Eternals in as a background dancer. She was also in Bridgerton, and she was also in Dune Prophecy. So
so she's close to a Disney
she's
trifecta, but
close.
I don't think she
Not
has
quite.
one yet.
Not quite, but she was in a Marvel, so we'll have to keep a lookout for her for anything truly Disney.
Yeah, if she
Um,
pops up in a Disney, she will get a.
mhm.
Oh, she is also in some of the Doctor Who audio dramas as the voice of Anne Boleyn.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's another random one for you.
And then next up we have Daisy Haggard plays Dorita Van Riepel, which is the evil. Well, I don't want to say evil, but you know what I mean. The rival character,
The rival child,
the
yes.
rival child, right? And she's a British actress. Here, her semi Star Wars connection was that she was in the Black Mirror episode Nosedive with Bryce Dallas Howard. So we know Bryce is connected to Star Wars, so that's a semi connection. She was also in Doctor Who, and she was in 2 of the Harry Potter movies as, get this, the voice of the Magic Ministry of Magic lift.
That's hilarious. Also, fuck J.K. Rowling, but that is
Yeah,
hilarious. Normally I don't mention if an actress is in the Harry Potter movies because aforementioned fuck J.K. Rowling, but
right.
this one was too good not to mention. She's the elevator voice.
Yeah, it's such a random left wing thing, but you know what? Good for her, right? Like,
It's like a left-handed curveball,
yeah, it's like where did
like
that come from? But
out of
okay,
nowhere.
right. So, oh, sorry,
Oh,
that's the mom.
she's in the okay. I was looking at which Doctor Who episode she was in. I was like, why was she in two of them as the same character? And it's during the Stephen Moffat era. There
Mm,
was an episode of season 5, and then they brought all the same characters from that episode back for another episode in season 6 as the same character. So she's in the lodger. That will mean things to Doctor Who fans, but I'm not going to try to explain it to anyone. If you're a Doctor Who fan, know that that's who she is. She's Sophie in that element of the Stephen Moffat era.
gotcha.
Did I also mention I'm a pretty big Doctor Who fan?
Yes, I know. That's why I always have to feel like I have to mention it if it's somebody.
I deeply appreciate that.
And just to be clear, it's we're talking about the mom, the evil mom. That's who's doing this voice, not the
Ah,
daughter.
yes. Sorry, I
Because
said the daughter earlier.
yeah, because the
No,
daughter is
she's
a
the
little too
evil.
young to do all that. But
She's the evil mom.
the daughter is played by BB Cave, and she's just a British actress. I didn't recognize any of her things, but she's young, so she still has time to do a lot more stuff. So,
She was very recently in The Running Man, which at time of recording, it released yesterday at time of recording.
oh, okay,
So it released April
so it
14th.
literally just happened,
It
which is the
literally
new.
just released. She is in that as
Okay.
a Shake Shack cashier.
Love that for her. Then, by the way, that's the new Glenn Powell movie for those keeping tabs on him for some reason. Um,
Because he's conventionally attractive
yeah, well,
and nice to look at.
that's true.
They keep trying to sell him to us as a leading man, and I'm like, that's great, honey. You're so pretty.
It's like just show us pictures of you and your dog shirtless again. That's all I
Yes,
need to see.
just do
That's
that.
all
We're good.
That's all I care
We're
about.
good. But they did get one final actor to be in this. Who's playing Wedge Antilles?
Wedge Antilles is being played by a Scottish actor named Dennis Lawson, who is known for his role as Wedge Antilles in the original Star Wars trilogy and Rise of Skywalker. And
He's
yeah, there
also
you go.
in, just scrolling through his IMDb, he's Wedge Antilles in Star Wars Squadrons, Rogue Squadron 2, the video game, as Rogue Leader, or Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader as Wedge Antilles. But he's also been in a lot of British movies and TV shows, like a lot of them. The one that I was like, oh, really? He was in that was Jekyll, the Stephen Moffat show. That was terrible, but I've watched, and he was in it, and he's also in an episode of the Torchwood podcast, also for our Doctor Who people. So here's the thing about being British and being an actor,
You have to be
right?
in Doctor Who.
You're gonna be in Doctor Who.
It's legally required by the
It's
country.
legally
to
required
be.
if you're going to be a working actor in the UK, you will be cast in Doctor Who somewhere. It will either be as in the main show or you'll be cast in one of these 6 billion fucking audio dramas
Right.
they make for Doctor
It's
Who.
a law over there.
But yeah, Wedge Antilles, voiced by the same guy who played him. And as all of us may know, he is also Ewan McGregor's uncle, aka Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wild connection, but yes.
So yes, he is here reprising his role, famously recast into the role. Different actor plays Wedge in one of the scenes in A New Hope. Canon has made that a different character, but originally that was supposed to be Wedge Antilles in the briefing with Luke, and then Dennis Lawson was cast. And then Dennis Lawson was, I guess, so the character was popular enough that they just kept bringing him back for more movies. So he's in all 3 movies, and his role keeps getting bigger and bigger in every movie he's in.
I love that. And it's worth noting, so because we're on the topic of Wedge, by the way, this is going to be the Wedge section, I guess. So 2 things. One, I love just the running gag in the episode where he's like selling merch.
That's so fucking funny.
That is the funniest bit.
That's so fucking funny.
Because if you listen at the end, if you go through the credits, because I had to watch the credits so I can get some of the actors and stuff, and you can hear a voiceover of him being like, by the way, don't forget to visit my stall and get some Wedge Antilles merch or whatever. I'm like, that is so fucking funny.
So I watched it this morning to prepare. Like, I woke up, and while I was waiting for like headache pills to kick in, before we could start recording this episode, I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the short, and then the behind the scenes will take me 30 minutes, and then by then my Tylenol will have kicked in, and I'll be ready to record this episode. And I had just set it to watch credits. I forgot this happened.
Right.
So I pulled out my phone, and I was dicking around on it, and I was like, I'm going to wait for the credits just to run out. Because I'm very particular about my streaming apps. I hate when it auto ends the episode at the beginning of the credits, and then you've got that tiny little sliver at the end.
It pisses me off, yeah.
Where it didn't play. And then when you go to look at the episode again a year later, because you want to watch it, it'll say resume, and you have to press more buttons to restart it.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, I'm just going to let the whole thing run. Drives my partner crazy. I always let it play all the way through to the end. So I pulled out my phone, I'm dicking around on it, and then don't forget, you can buy the Wedge Antilles merch, and I lost it. I thought that was it came out of nowhere, and it was so fucking funny.
Amazing. I cannot, because it just has this weird, like, silly little thing where it's like, if Wedge is alive, and if this is technically, we'll just say it's canon just for the sake of just like being funny, like he's doing this. Like after the war, like him just being like, oh, well, after the war, I'm such a hero. I got to sell my merch now.
That's part of the thing, too, is that it takes place in a canon city. It takes place in Hannah City.
Right.
On Chandrilla.
There you go.
So, like, they're very specific about this is taking place in a canon location. We have Wedge Antilles. It's very clearly New Republic. So, like, this could work. This could actually work in canon. Like, if you told me these events occurred, I would believe you.
Well, right, because it doesn't, I'm looking at his Wikipedia page, and nothing conflicts like with what happens after. It just says that after, the war, he becomes a flight instructor, and then he settles down, like he gets married and stuff. So it's like, okay, that doesn't seem weird. Like, why wouldn't he? And then, of course, Rise of Skywalker happens, but that's a little bit later. So this could happen in between that.
Yeah, I'm looking at photos of Hannah City now, and it looks basically the same. The only difference is there's a body of water in the images of it, but also like that's not that big of a deal.
And I don't know.
Point is, nothing about this breaks anything.
No, nothing. I mean, honestly, it's all kind of really cool. And they even threw in another little Easter egg, which I just realized, which was when she watches the little flashback hologram of her and her daughter, and the daughter is red. Her call sign is red too, which is also Wedge Antilles' call sign. He's red too. So I just thought that was like a fun little like, oh, someone really watched Star Wars. Like they really paid attention, because that's amazing.
I had to double check if you were correct, and you were.
I literally just said I read the Wikipedia.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't trust your brain all
I'm
the time.
literally reading it as I'm saying it out loud.
Well, you would also know that he has a second call sign, Bradley.
Okay,
He
what's his
actually
second
has
call sign?
he actually has three. He
What's his
becomes Red
third?
Leader after the Battle of Hoth, and he's Rogue 2 in Rogue Squadron behind Luke Skywalker. If you want to see the exasperated look that Bradley is
Anyway,
giving me, you can go to patreon.com/Gold Squadron Gaze. For $3 a month, you can get the video versions of this where you can watch Bradley be exhausted at me.
so do you have any facts or anything? Because I feel like you clearly know all the things. So what are the facts? Give me
Yes,
give me
according
something.
to Wikipedia, he's also Rogue 3 during the Battle of Hoth.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I meant for the short. I don't care about Star Wars in
No.
general.
I love making you exasperated and miserable. Well, I could also tell you that in canon, his wife's name is Nora Wexley, and in Legends, it's the Yellow Wasiri. I can keep listing off Wedge Antilles facts.
No, I'm done
I
with
can,
Wedge.
I could go on forever.
Wedge minute is over.
The
Wedge
Wedge minute
hour
is
is
over.
the Wedge halftime show is over.
Look, here's the challenge of talking about this short, right? And here's the issue I've sort of run into because
Mhm.
when you have good comedy, it's hard to talk about the comedy
Yeah.
because the comedy is so good that you don't want to spoil it. You don't want to be like, this joke is funny because of X, Y, and Z. And there's an additional layer on this with Aardman where it's like the nature of the humor being slapstick and kind of lowbrow makes it even difficult to explain why the joke is funny. So
Mhm.
like the gag when the ship is landing, like I'm gonna be vague, but like how the ship signals that it is arriving, how the audience knows the ship is coming is fucking hilarious. I cannot explain to you why. And that's the thing with this short is all I can tell you is like it's funny and it's sweet and you're just gonna have to trust me on that.
I guess I will.
It's good. Well, you have to. You watch the short.
Well, I'm looking at some of the trivia to see all these like Easter eggs because holy shit, there's so many. It is wild to me how much is in this. Like they really packed this full of Easter eggs because there's like obvious ones, like, and I don't, and we have to specify we're not talking about like in the beginning of the episode when we see a Jawa. We're not talking about that. Like we're talking about like little silly things that they put in there that are just like blink and you miss it stuff. Because this one you might like. Apparently, when the ships are lining up at the starting line, the Mantis from Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor video games can be seen in the background.
I caught that.
Okay.
I did catch that one.
Thought you would like that one.
I loved
Um,
that one.
I noticed this, but I didn't know what the name of it was. But the Van Riepel's ship is a model built by the Theed Engineering Corporation, or the same spacecraft that was created by the Royal Naboo's ship, or whatever. It's the same shape and thing, I guess.
One of my favorites, I don't even know if this was intentional or not, was that when the ship is descending, it looks like Lego brick. It looks like a Lego brick
Okay.
from the bottom. It looks like the top of a Lego brick from the bottom of the ship.
Right.
Like it's got the three like pegs that stick out, the six of them, two lines of three, but it looks like visually like a Lego brick. In the sequence where the rival girl is talking,
Hmm.
one of the things propping up the stand is the weather vane that Luke was dangling from.
Mm.
In that was in the trivia guide, and I was like, oh my god, that's so funny.
I love this. Like, there's so many things. Like, there's a section where let me see what it says. So when she's with her two friends and they're like confronting the Van Riepel girl, her Wookiee friend and then the alien friend. Behind them, there's a booth, and the booth is called "Things Touched by Luke Skywalker."
Oh my god, yeah, that's so funny.
And I cannot because they have all this stuff like his training helmet and binoculars. It says his hand in a jar, his original lightsaber. I love this. Like there's something. Oh, Leia's metal bikini randomly is in the background. Love that. Stormtrooper helmet, things like that. Anyway, there's just so many little fun things. And also randomly, I want to talk about the dog slash droid.
Who is named after the director's childhood dog
Right.
as who is also a like I forget the name of the dog, but a really long dog.
Yeah, a dachshund.
Sure.
But in England,
I own a cat.
they call them sausage dogs in England.
That's
So
what she called it in
yeah,
the behind the scenes. Yeah, I knew it
yes,
started with an S.
yes, they call them
Yeah.
sausage dogs. So I found that funny that the droid is both a droid, obviously, but it's like kind of supposed to be a dog. Also, the fact that she calls it Z1 instead of Z1, which is British.
Because British people say Z and not Z.
No, and that's why I wanted to bring that up because I was like, I love that this is so British because they use all British. Like she says, like even in the description, it says mum. It doesn't say mom. It says mum. Like I love
Yeah,
that.
and that's sort of a final thought that I had on this is that this short really does a great job of being like very quintessentially British.
Hmm.
But what I think is interesting about that too is that they really leaned into the immigrant narrative in the background as well,
Mm,
where these are Twi'lek. They're not from Chandrila.
right.
And it's very subtle that they're really the only Twi'leks in this plot. Like, the main rival girl is a human, and Chandrila is a primarily human planet. And I was watching the behind the scenes, and the actress who plays the Annie was talking about how the story resonated with her because, like, when she was a kid, like the experience of, being from a different culture, like she would bring her lunch to school and the lunch would be different than all the other kids had. And she would be very embarrassed by this. And only when she was an adult did she realize, no, this is something I have to be proud of. And the director of the short talked too about like how her mother was Polish. They immigrated from Poland. And when her mother comes to visit her now, even though they're both adults, there's still a bit of a sense that both of these women are outsiders in the world around them. And there's a lot of really subtle theme work going on here that really resonates through the short. That was very, very impressive, while also, having all of these fun little British hallmarks like saying mum. And it's really great. It's really fantastic the way that this story is so simple and yet so complex in its theming. They really did such a wonderful job with this short.
Well, you've mentioned her a lot, so let's talk about her. The director for this short is Magdalena Osinska, and Magda is an award-winning director at Aardman. Over the 9 years she has been with Aardman, she's directed stop motion, CGI, 2D, and live action commercials with them. And the writer for this episode is Sam Morrison, who is best known for Shaun the Sheep, but he's also a writer on Peppa Pig, which is a popular British cartoon for kids. So
Yeah, you know Peppa Pig. If you live in the pop culture space and are even remotely associated with British pop culture, you know Peppa Pig.
the show that is making children have British accents, even though their parents are not British.
Yeah.
Loves it. Yeah, and so that's the short. So I guess the question now comes to Charles. How would you like to see the I Am Your Mother world expanded, if at all?
I think this works well enough in canon that I'd love to see Annie turn up as a pilot, just even as a background pilot in a piece
Mhm.
of canon media. I think that'd be very cool. That's how I would do it, is I would sneak her into the background, or I might include the Van Riepels in something that's set on Chandrila. But really I would like to see Annie turn up just as a fighter pilot somewhere. I think that would be very neat, and that would be something that would be very easy to do.
Oh no, for sure. I like her as a character. I think she'd make a great little resistance pilot, in the latter half of the trilogy. Wouldn't be bad to see her. But I annoyingly just want Aardman to just redo the original trilogy in this style. Like just because, like simplify down the original trilogy for kids, like make a like essentially a
You want a
kid version.
Phineas and Ferb special, but are
Yeah, I think so. Like just do it. Like or kind of more like when Family Guy did it. You know how they do their version just to be funny, like and they have all these stupid fucking jokes and stuff. Same kind of concept where like we're just retelling the story, but just like a simpler, thing. And maybe we can take out the this person dies and then this person, gets shot or whatever, but like we can simplify it down or make it less horrific, I guess, if you do like the prequels. But because I don't know if I want to see the Aardman animation of Anakin killing younglings, but I don't know. I think we could at least do the original
I think
trilogy.
they would make it very funny.
I think
I
it could
I
work.
I hate to say I think they would find a way to make it funny.
I think they should do it. I think it would be so cute.
If I trust anyone to do that, I trust Art to do that.
And then I also just think that like especially for people who want to introduce their kids to Star Wars but aren't ready to show them like true live action Star Wars yet because they're not quite old enough. Like not that I think the first movie's all that bad. Like there's not really that much in it that I'd be like, "Oh yeah, an 8-year-old can't watch that."
I was an extremely sheltered child and I was allowed to watch the original trilogy at age 5.
Yeah.
5, 6-ish. I tell people 6. I remember it was specifically around kindergarten.
Hmm.
I tell people 6 so that I can quote the Cassian Andor line from Rogue One. It was probably around 5 or 6 that I saw it for the first time.
Yeah, I just think that the problem now with modern society is that I don't think that Star Wars, the original trilogy, is as accessible to kids because it doesn't look as pretty. It's not as, it's a little too vintage, I think, for the modern day child.
Have some faith in some kids, Bradley.
I don't. I have zero faith in children.
And
So,
what age will you be introducing the children in your family to? Not your children, obviously, you
right,
don't
not
have
my
any.
kids. Oh my God,
But
no.
you will have the inevitable task, Bradley,
I
because
do.
there are children in your family of being the cool gay uncle that introduces them to Star Wars.
I know. I
This
have a
is your
really big
challenge now.
task.
You have to figure out how to do this.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it because the one just started walking, so she's not quite at the right age to watch anything yet. So I'm gonna give it like maybe another year or two before I introduce her to like maybe Young Jedi Adventures. But because I feel like that's the only thing I could that's accessible to her. Maybe if she's like old enough to make decisions later on, I can give her Rebels, but that's probably it. Like, and then the other one was born 2 days ago, so I literally like she's definitely not gonna watch anything anytime soon.
Start her on A New Hope as soon as she comes home from the hospital.
That's right. I just
Let's go. Let's
click.
go.
Here you go.
Let's go. Let keep it going.
That's right.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, I am too far away geographically from the children in my family to the one who influences them to watch Star Wars.
Darn.
But I know their parents. I know their parents, and I trust their parents will show them the movies at the right time.
I mean, I already do my part whenever the oldest one comes over for my dad babysits her every Monday. And so I do have the small task of influencing her slightly when I put on cartoons on the TV because my dad will be like, let's just put on some YouTube shit or whatever, and then like she'll watch that. But I'm like, no, she needs culture. So like I'll throw on like Teletubbies or something, like actual culture. But we'll see. She loves British cartoons actually, like kid cartoons for the
You mean
British
like the
kids.
stuff that Aardman makes? So you've had to watch
Yeah.
some Peppa Pig.
Well, she doesn't
Is
even
what
watch
you're
that.
saying.
There's something called Hey Dougie, which is like a dog thing. Like it's British. I don't know. Don't ask me. She loves it. But yes, I feel like Aardman is right up her alley. So I feel like I could probably show her this short, and then that's already an introduction to Star Wars, and be like, here you go. So that's why I need them to make more. I need them to make more Star Wars because I feel like it works too perfectly.
We're probably not going to show her next week's short because what are we doing next week? What are we
Oh
talking
God.
about?
Oh God. Well, no, next week it's actual anime, I think. So, or at least it looks like
Close
actual anime.
enough.
Yeah.
Close enough. There's probably a technical term. I recently had to learn because of Claudia. Chinese animation that looks like anime that isn't anime is called donghua, apparently. But we're doing something that's not Japanese but looks like anime. It has the same style.
Right. I just looked. So yeah, it's from South Korea. So it's gonna be a very interesting episode. We'll see what happens when we go
What's it
to
called?
Journey to the Dark Head.
I also recall not liking this one very much when I watched it the first time. So we'll see if my opinion changes.
I honestly don't remember this one at all, so we'll see.
I remember not liking it very much.
Hmm.
So we'll see if my opinion changes. Sometimes it changes as I analyze things for this podcast. It'll be another exciting adventure on Gold Squadron Gaze. Hey, let's talk about pluggables. So Bradley does a bunch of reality TV, Married to Medicine, Temptation Island, The Circle. He's giving me a look like I have something else I want to talk about.
Well, I have a date finally for Married to Medicine season 12 is going to come out November 30th.
I talked about in our patron chat, patron only chat. It's not a patron chat because patrons don't get to live stream in to watch these episodes. But our patron only chat, I talked about having gone to Disneyland the day before recording this with Chris from Dark Side Divas. He was telling me he watched the trailer for the new season of Married to Medicine and blames you for something.
Hmm.
He didn't tell me what it was. He just blames you for something that was in that trailer. So
Interesting.
apparently it must be a good season of television. So that is coming. What was the date again?
November 30th on Bravo.
November 30th. You can watch the season premiere of season 12 of Married to Medicine. Keep that show on the air so that Bradley can keep getting paid the money he needs to justify making this podcast. If you also want to continue to spend money and get your eyeballs, I have a couple of different things. I am a cast member on the Star Wars TTRPG podcast For Light and Dice. I also write queer. They started as thrillers, but they've kind of evolved to be like crime drama in the last two books. They're still crime thrillers, but like I write books about queer people doing murder. And the new one, the penultimate one, the fourth book out of 5, is coming out November the 21st. That is available on Amazon, Kobo, and Barnes & Noble. All of my advanced reader copy readers who were trying to read it before it came out, not Bradley, because he still needs to catch up. I think he's waiting for the audiobook version.
Yeah, the audiobook that hopefully materializes magically one day, and then I'll be like,
The
great,
audiobook that pops out of my ass
yeah, exactly.
randomly when I come up with several $1,000s to make one. No, I'm working on an audio version. Trying to figure the logistics out of that. But they're starting to get back to me, and the feedback has been positive so far. So November the 21st, that is Beach House Studios. The latest book is called Confessional, but you really should start with the first book, which is called Beach House Studios. Go to Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble. Beach House is one word, one H. You can find it there. So give Bradley money, Bradley show money, give my books money. That's the purpose of this podcast. And hey, you can also give us money at patreon.com/Gold Squadron Gaze, where you can get an additional 10 to 15 minutes of bonus content, and you can get all of the segues that Bradley cuts out of the show. We don't necessarily have them the last couple episodes, but I promise they do exist, and the uncut versions are worth it to listen to me randomly go off. And you also get video versions, so you can see my dead-eyed, unshaven face.
Great plug for that. Yeah.
great selling point.
Yeah, definitely
for
want
that.
to see that.
Yes. Does everybody wants to see my day-old stubble that I didn't bother to shave before recording this? Look. If you signed up for the Patreon, you know what you're getting yourself in. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, that was the episode this week. So I'm just going to awkwardly end it. Bradley, roll the credit. Thank you for listening to Gold Squadron Gaze. Did Charles fuck something up? Email us at goldsquadrongaze@gmail.com and let us know. You can follow us on BlueSky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Gold Squadron Gaze. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Gold Squadron Gaze, where we post full episodes of this podcast. If you like the podcast, you can also rate us and review us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Please join us next week and every week for another episode of Gold Squadron Gaze. I will try to make it through the entire next episode without making a head joke.
Okay.
I will try to get through it without making a single joke about blowjobs.
Okay, I feel like that's really easy to do, so I don't know how much of a challenge this is, but okay.
It's a challenge for me.
Got it.
It's a challenge for me.